network that built its audience by tearing down the Clinton presidency and which still insists the Clintons were responsible for a murder. A radio show that is deliberately fostering, quote, chaos, unquote, in the Democratic Party. A slew of blogs, magazines, and newspapers that formed the core of the vast right-wing conspiracy in the 1990s. Our fourth story on the countdown, all of them now embraced by Hillary Clinton's campaign, and vice versa. "I'm bringing people together as we speak," she joked here nearly 2 weeks ago. The senator herself sitting down to talk with the biggest mouthpiece of the network transformed from triviality by shredding her husband's administration, and he doubts to Bill O'Reilly's true intentions, however politely he reined himself in during the actual interview, or was it fearfully, were clear in the post-interview spiel he gave, in which he told his audience that the interview, quote, emasculated all these far-left extortion types like Move On and the Coasts. Translation, he was more influential over her than was her supposed Democratic base. All this coming not 2 months after Bill Clinton went on the Rush Limbaugh show, though comedian himself was out sick on the day of the Texas primary. Limbaugh has made no secret of his active campaign encouraging the audience to support Clinton in order to cause chaos in the Democratic Party, even going as far as hoping for riots, actual riots, in Denver at the convention to further the Republican pro-riot agenda. And then there's Sidney Blumenthal. This is the news of the day. Former journalist, former White House aide to Bill Clinton, the man credited with coining that term, vast right-wing conspiracy, and somewhat accurately at least, who is now using the same work of some of those same conspirators. Peter Dreier reporting in the Huffington Post that he has been forwarded some of the emails sent by Blumenthal to influential journalists, pundits, think tank operatives with links to stories by right-wing fringe groups like the Weekly Standard, National Review, and the very poorly named AIM, Accuracy in Media. And that all those stories have only one thing in common: they attack Senator Obama. Joined now by our own Gene Robinson, columnist, associate editor of the Washington Post. Thanks for your time tonight, Gene.
Good to be here, Keith.
They made his life and his boss's life and anybody who supported their lives hell in the 90s. How could Sidney Blumenthal possibly justify using organizations like AIM or the National Review now just because it's a different Democrat that they're making stuff up about?
Well, I think, first of all, I don't think you're going to hear some sort of elaborate justification of it. It's kind of, like the Nike motto, just do it. But, I guess I'm a little more concerned about what it is that's being alleged, and, lies and distortions, as opposed to where you find it. A kind of crude way of putting that, I guess, was, if you want to find a bucket of slime, where are you going to go to find it? Some sort of swamp, probably.
The emails that Blumenthal, according to Dreier's research, sent include stories that are just outright untrue. There's a thing from February 18th on the AIM site that Richard Mellon Scaife funds that fabricated this story that Obama had a communist mentor in high school. But Blumenthal and others are literally helping propel such lies, moving them from these, fringes where there are no ethics and none to be found within, 1,000 miles, into the mainstream. I mean, her supporters view this as her combativeness, as her refusal to lose, but I'm wondering if that's the only possible interpretation.
Well, refusal to lose, again, would be one way of putting it. I think it would be win at all costs. The AIM site, I think, of the outlets that you mentioned is certainly the most problematic. I mean, I can see, okay, even Weekly Standard, National Review, it's kind of odd that that's where Sid would be doing his research, but the AIM site is almost kind of a leap beyond those others, I believe.
About the Bill O'Reilly interview, a network that not only badmouthed her and her husband for years, but she is still doing this stuff with Sean Hannity about how she had somebody killed or killed somebody herself or, strangled them with her bare hands. I mean, Lord knows what they're making up about her now. But is there any reason for her to have done that other than, at a time of great economic peril in a campaign to get a large slap of free airtime right there?
Well, of course it is free airtime, but the other thing you would want by going on that network would be to reach the so-called Reagan Democrats. I mean, there are Democratic voters toward the right end of the party, probably, or others who do watch it and who do watch Bill-O, and so who she could reach there, and also some independents in perhaps in Indiana. We'll see. It does, as you know, it has created tension with the left half of the Democratic Party and some very influential groups, and so it's unclear whether this is a net gain for her.
Last biggest point, Gene, there has to be a reason that Rush Limbaugh wants Clinton to be the nominee and not Obama, and there has to be a reason Ann Coulter wants Clinton to be the nominee and not Obama, and there has to be a reason Richard Mellon freaking Scaife wants Clinton to be the nominee and not Obama. What do you think that reason is, and why do you think Senator Clinton and her supporters are refusing to acknowledge that sort of sound of the crack of doom which would seem to necessarily accompany that reason?
You know, there's been a lot of consistency all year. Republicans have said, gee, we'd really rather run against Hillary Clinton. Now, there are Democrats who've thought that this is some sort of double secret reverse psychology, and they really want the Democrats to nominate Obama because they can tear him down, and they don't want to run against Hillary Clinton. I tend to take them at their word. You know, otherwise, why would they be campaigning on her behalf? You know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there is double super secret reverse psychology going on.
Well, now, but think about this. Maybe there's triple super secret reverse psychology going on.
You're making my head hurt.
You know, suddenly it's the Princess Bride. You think, you know, you think. Gene Robinson of MSNBC and the Washington Post. Many thanks. Have a great weekend.
You too, Keith.
Casey's defense.